Hello, friends. Host of Talking with Famous People. I'm live streaming now, in part because I want to share an important observation that I made regarding the meta-analyst, analyst, executive, and executor types. And it links to three things. It links to parties. It links to crying. It links to crying at parties. So, in conveying the ways in which different configurations either create a meta-analyst person or type, an analyst person or type, a executive person or type, or an executive person or type, we look to the frame and the tool function. Those are kind of like fancy, even the word frame is kind of fancy a little bit. So I was trying to think of a good, perfect example to bust this shit down to the simplest possible words. And we'll start with particular frame, particular tool. What's the simplest possible expression of that? It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. It's my party, and I will cry if I want to. The party's mine, it's particularist. The tool is mine, it's crying. And the decision's mine, if I want to. That's particular. So, if I'm instead universal than particular, it's not my party, it's everyone's party, but I'll still cry if I want to. So let me go over which types are which. Yeah, so the first one I said, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. For that one, you're looking at your ISTJs, your ISFPs, your ESFPs, and your ESTJs. Those are particular. It's their party and they'll cry if they want to. Now, it's everyone's party, but I'll still cry if I want to. That's going to be your universal frames and your particular tool functions. Sorry, baby. So your universalist frame with particular tool function, you're looking at your ENFPs, your INTJs, your ESFJs, and your who's the fourth one? God, I'm having problems with this. Okay, who's the fourth one? They've got a universalist frame and a particular tool function. Oh. Hello, 1, 2, 3. ENFPs, INTJs, NE, NI, ESFJs, and who's the one for the other? Who's the one for the other quadrant? It's not at the moment. Okay, so anyway, the types that say it's everyone's party, but I'll cry if I want to, are your ENFPs, your INTJs, your ESFJs, and your ISTPs. There we go. I got the last one. Okay, so those four types are it's everyone's party, but I'll cry if I want to. Now, the types that are the analysts, that's to say your ESTPs, I sub j, ESTP, ENTJ, and INFP. Those ones, they have the particulars frame and universal function. So for those types, it's going to be, it's my party and nobody can cry. Or everybody can cry if they want it. You know, basically, it's my party and I'll cry if it's appropriate, would be the best way to put it. It's my party, but nobody gets to cry. It's my party and I'll cry if it's appropriate. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. That's particular. It's everyone's party and I'll cry if I want to. That's universal particular. It's my party and I'll cry if it's appropriate for everybody is particular universal. And then last, the meta-analysts, your INTP, ENTP, ENFJ, INFJ, they say it's everyone's party and nobody gets to cry unless it's appropriate. Are there any unfun facts about ENFPs? I don't think so. All facts about ENFPs are fun. I need to get a torch and a lighter. So it's understandable that the idea of this universal particular thing sometimes can be a little confusing or a little too TI heavy. So I hope that this party and crying thing will help clarify for those who feel it does, then good. So many of our disputes. Okay, as far as the bell ringing, the notifications, this is I've been thinking of this some for a few days now because Rachel was mentioning some things to me, blah, 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 blah. I think it boils down to this. YouTube is really trying to push scheduling ahead of time so that their algorithm has a chance to process your video before they decide what its status is, you know? The videos that I schedule ahead of time, I don't hear these things for. It's the ones that I don't schedule. So, for example, I can do a premiere. Premiere is a good test on it. If some of the times I do instant premieres, and some of the times I do scheduled premieres. Scheduled premieres, I don't hear this problem. Instant premieres, I do. This is a go live, instant live stream, not a scheduled one. I could schedule it. I agree it didn't used to seem to make much of a difference at all, but I think YouTube is trying to basically know more about the videos before they get published. So I'm going to try to schedule more. I think that'll be a good way to increase my success a little bit at least. The thing is, You can really see how this plays out a lot of different places. So, I never seem to think it's okay to make the winning argument if the winning argument is particularist. Ow! That was the fuck that was. Ow! Fucking fire has to burn me. Burn my sock. Burn my sock, make me read John Locke. That's the only way I'll know. 123. Did you watch the video from the canyon? Yeah, I'm fine. I just did part of the smoldering cherry landed on my sock, and my toe was like, "What is that? Am I getting bitten by an insect or something? What's going on here?" Piece of the cherry from the weed landed on my sock and burned a hole through it, and then burned it on my toe. And I was like, "Why is my toe hurt right now?" The canyon episode I went to with Horse Mumble. In the canyon episode, you're going to find a certain song that is not include any of your music or anything, but it is all about horses and ducks. So you should listen to it. It's not anything that you've done. I didn't include your shit in it. I wanted to give you the wrong impression here. The reason I ended up doing what I did was on my drive back from Palm Desert or from Tucson, however you want to look at it, I put on this beat I sometimes put on for long drives, which is called 11 minutes of freestyle, beat to freestyle over. And I started freestyling about horses and ducks. And then I ended up using that beat and making the song about horses and ducks using that beat. I've got a new beat now that I've started working on. It sounds like this. I think it sounds pretty good. Ain't no horses, ain't no ducks. Because duck-sized horses and horse-sized ducks bring about a big change in your luck. You could go to town on the back of a duck, provided there were waterways the whole way there, Chuck. I don't know where I'm going to do that yet. Anywho, what are the chances of an ENFP approaching someone with a death glare? Does the ENFP know the person has a death glare before they approach them? Can they see the death glare? Are they threatening to use the death glare? Or do they discover that the person has a death glare only after they approach the person? Or do you actually mean, will the ENFP glaring deathly, in which case you got a misplaced modifier? Sorry to be pedantic like that. Yeah, I mean, look, I wish Horse Mumble spoke more too. Mostly because there's kind of I don't want to be subject to the critique that I wasn't being a good media host, you know. Fact is, I've got a bunch of videos that are that we made that he was not happy with how he did it in them, really. because he didn't. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. It's hard to explain. It's a complicated explanation. Let me see about the horses and ducks song. When hello there became 1, 2, 3, he opened up a very special kind of factory and specialized in equine duck alchemy and transmuted size, scale, scope, but not the binary. Ducks still had feathers, ducks still could float, horses wore leathers and vegans a boat. Ducks were still black, horses still neigh, although little horses would eat little hay. So if you want to see it with the lyrics, then you should watch that video. It has the lyrics in it too. Plus, it was perfect because, this is why I ended up making that when I did, there was horses at the canyon. We got to see the horses. Now, I'm not going to lie. The horses were regular horse-sized horses. They were not duck-sized horses. And I'm further not going to lie. I did not see any ducks of any size. However, the presence of horses was nevertheless sufficient to motivate me. Let's see. We'll get to the right spot for you. You got your running shoes on, Horseman Blair, in case I find a nugget of gold and the forest rangers try to steal it from me? And then show. This is a national park. I'll be like, fuck you, and I'll run. Okay. Here you go. Time stamped and everything. Time stamped and everything. The only way an EHP would understand what you're trying to say is putting it in a day-to-day instance. Well, SI users do tend to like to have concrete examples of universal rules, I guess. Good night, my precious sweet potato pants angel. Don't forget to appreciate the dew from the moist angel wings as they flap about your head tonight as you sleep. I mean, it is the case, though, that some types are much more inclined towards understanding things through concrete examples, which includes SI users. It's not just the intuitives or the sensors, it's all the SI users. Hello, Eric. How do you do? Hello, Bruce Wayne. I do well, thank you. No, that's not sensing, Jonathan. It's a preferred style of epistemology. You're welcome, Lady Mittentons Von Gloves a lot. Intuitive currency. remember, that's why I started by warning you that that wasn't what happened. Um, Intuition only links to knowledge if the intuition referred to is introverted. Extroverted intuitors don't intuit by knowledge. Yeah, paranoia is common among INTJs. I would say that. They're constantly terrified that Hall & Oates are going to come perform in their bathroom. I don't blame them. I'm a little scared of that too. And I like Hall & Oates. Does that answer your question, Bruce Wayne? Hope so. I assume it does. When Mama took me down to the country fair, she showed me all kind of pie. When Mama took me down to the country fair, she pie. It's an old country fair song. I've decided that I'm going to begin changing my musical approach. And from this point forward, I'm going to specialize exclusively in the Negro spiritual. All my songs from now on are going to be about coming on down to take me places. They're going to be about picking things. They're going to be about Lowdy, and all sorts of things like that. They're going to be great. Well, the boundary will be crossed the moment it's in collected to retrieve a loan. Or if that would fail, break the kneecaps of the loaner, physical or material. Well, the boundary crossed is like an objective boundary on the physical violence. And subjective on the loan retrieval. In other cases, I guess it would be material on the former and physical on the latter. I don't think that it's a cascading style sheet. I don't think boundary crossing works like cascading style sheets. Here's a little secret I'm going to remind you of, Joel Nathan Henry. Only people are intuitive, and they're only intuitive insofar as they are attending by way of an intuitive function. I am not feeling especially Hop Steelish. Yeah, they would be crossing a legal boundary. That's a little different than a personal boundary. Now, you can also cross a personnel boundary. If you cross a personnel boundary, what that means is you start giving personnel advice to the human resources director. I already have a song about cheese. It's called Russ and Steven. It goes like this. Russ and Steven delight in delivering cheese. And the reason who. And the dairy that employs them in Jersey. Russ and Stephen delight in delivering cheese every day, and the reason and the dairy that employs them ensures they earn quite reasonable pay. Russ and cheddar, American, and Swiss too. He'll give them all to you. Stephen oversees with from his desk easily. He oversees the cheese. Russ broke even, gambling on hurricane names from this thing down in the east. I don't know if I have it up there anywhere. I'm not sure I have any good version of it anywhere, really. It's a piano song. I don't have all that many opportunities to record myself on piano songs, so I gotta move shit around. And now it should be easy. Anytime my dad's not here, I can record on the pianos at the house. He doesn't really he doesn't love me playing the piano, I guess you could say. He has kind of a loud piano. Verse that never had trouble making friends, but none know all departments. Do you think that introverted intuitives have a hard time making friends? I don't think it really matters to either introverted intuitive. The INFJs don't especially love people, so to speak, as a general rule. They might have one or two particular relationships, but they're not seeking broad swaths of acquaintance. INTJ, they operate with that third slot FI. They love people, people don't love them. That's just kind of their basic frame. ISTJ has it too. Third slot FI is very nice. Am I ENTP? Yes, I am. Hometown rapper. I am ENTP. Take talent to play the piano. What kind of piano is it? I don't know what kind of piano it is. I mean, it's either a upright, like small upright piano, not an upright piano. It's not called that. There's another name for it. Like this kind of piano is like the smallest kind that takes the lowest profile. I forget what it's called. But it's a very old piano. It was my grandmother's before it was my mother's before. Now it's I'm going to play it. And it's still in tune too. Interesting the way SI beats out NI, Elizabeth B. Milburn. So because of the fact that you capitalized the A, it's the only reason this happened. You capitalized the letter A there, Elizabeth B. Milburn. So I read that sentence, the way it looks to me was 1 or 2 is A, loud for me at any time, E flat and flow, they come and go. A, E flat, is it? Because it looks like, you see what I'm saying? Is the A and E flat, though, are they? Okay, oh, that's why you misspelled that too. I didn't realize you misspelled, but you see what I'm saying? Doesn't it look like A and E flat there? 1 or 2 is A. Strum it. For me, anytime E flats and flow, they come and go. A Lot. It is a song, one of my favorites by 21 Savage. Is 21 Savage the show that Forever 21 grows into when it realizes it's not really going to be 21 forever? Write a song in A&E flat about Elizabeth's future non-typo years. I am feeling so weird right now. Twenty-one Savage is what you get when you cross 21 Pilots with Forever 21. By the way, the title of this live stream translates to INFP. Remember, for INFPs, it's my party, but I won't cry if it makes you uncomfortable or it's inappropriate. How much money you go? A lot. Yeah, I know that song. I'm familiar with that song. Which one you're talking about? All stressed out. Yeah, it's just all stressed out. Is that what it's called? Cheese chart hitting songs of the future. I wish there were a cheese chart for songs, but I don't think there is one directed directly towards cheese. And so cheese song. There is the other side of intuition. It's feelings, what's thinking, and feeling intuitive about belief and passion. Okay, but the question is, does that have anything to do with their intuition? You're saying because some intuitives are more feeling, that there must be a more feely flavor of intuition. Why don't we just assume the feely part is linked to the feelings and not to the intuition? Um, uh, and it's a tricky question to answer because the inclination to willfully and consciously, knowingly fake being intuitive for the purpose of engendering social benefits is typically probably something that is more likely to be fully parsed out by an intuitive. I don't do parties, I don't do crying. Okay? I don't care whose fucking party it is. My eyes are staying dry. That's why I have these little eye towels installed underneath my eyelids. Catch any and all moisture that might be tempted to come streaming therefrom. Tempted by my old nemesis, gravity, always bringing me down. Man, I am definitely experiencing the extra drug-like effects of sleep deprivation combined with drugs. Sleep deprivation maximizes the drug-like effects of drugs. Yeah, I hate every single moth's effing typo. Every stream lately you've been tired. Well, I mean, the last week or so, maybe more. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks being. It sucks running out of time, and it sucks running out of. Yeah, I feel like I want to do well at this, but I can't really. But I'm still enjoying it, kind of. I'm like, I thought I was gonna try to sleep pretty well last night because I'd had this long ass fucking day. I got up at 1 in the morning. I get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Drove all the way back to Los Angeles. Stayed up all day. I got to sleep. I only slept like 4 hours, and I got up and couldn't go back to sleep. Motherfucking moths. God, I know. Look, can we all just agree to blame the moths? They're probably at fault. All right, Ghost Rider, let's swing a ball. In fact, a fresh one, so I'm smoking green instead of black. I mean, it doesn't just mean a lot of. I just don't want to argue. I just do not want to argue with Joel Anthony. I don't know what I'm doing. Moths are butterflies from hell sent to destroy the souls of clothes. Moths are a wonderful flatter in the nighttime. Moths are my perky friends. Okay, so because I was going to point out the fact that A equals mc squared is not a rational observation. You might make a rational observation about it. You might make some sort of statement and say, this statement is a rational observation of something. But just isolated like that in the vacuum, it's not even a rational observation. It's just you're referencing a theory, an explanation. You're saying this is this explanation, because of the kind of explanation it is, idealists and censors might not accept it. But then the reason why you're saying they might not accept it is because they have a religion. Except non-idealists and non-censors, namely rationalists and intuitives, might also have a religion. So either that same religion prevents them as well, or the religion doesn't prevent them, in which case it's probably not the religion preventing the first people either. It's certainly not being a direct causal relationship, because if it was responsible for preventing that, it would prevent everybody, it would prevent the intuitives too. See what I'm saying? Like, do you understand why it gets a little frustrating sometimes? Because the way I go, I hadn't even begun to crack the ice of what's wrong with that sentence of yours. You seem to think I'm like running away from your insightful negations or something. But that's just not what's happening here. It's just you make a lot of work for me. It's like we're not. I can't come in and go, okay, you almost got this here. We got to fix this and this. If I could do that, I'd engage with you more directly, more frequently. Okay. Okay, so in other words, religion, because you can be religious and irrational. So all people who have religion and are also rationals accept E equals mc squared. But it is not the case that for people who are religious and not rational, they won't accept E equals MC squared. Is that what you're saying? And it's specifically because they are censors or idealists? Two, wanting to cry at parties. However, the important thing is not whether you want to, but your attitude towards whether you ought to be able to, if you do want to. Hence the classic Executor song lyric, it's my party, and I will cry if I want to. My frame, my tool function. My rules. And then there's universal. It's everyone's party and no one gets to cry. The universal particular. It's everyone's party, but I'll cry if I want to. Or particularly universal. It's my party and nobody gets to cry, not even me. So then, Joel, Nathan, Henry, you haven't established anything in terms of a linkage between religion, status as a rational versus idealist, and whatever. Yeah, I'm fucking a wreck at the moment. I can barely keep a train of thought. Marco Rodin. Good old Marco Rodin. Hell of a guy. He got tired of hearing it. Eventually he started telling people, hey, my name's Rodin. Nobody believed him. I have got to wrap this up in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I have to because I'm just so dysfunctional. But before I do, I want to play this thing some more. Oh yeah, this is a different mic. Sweet chariot, a coming down to carry me home.
I gotta pick a cotton in the morning, pick a cotton later, then again at dawn. Negro spiritual is my favorite kind of song. So swing low, sweet chariot, and take me off along. Oh, Negro spiritual, oh, Negro spiritual, the only kind of song I sing. I like my Negro spirituals where things swing down to pick me up, and then they'll take me flying up in the sky, away from these cotton fields. I like my Negro spiritual songs every day. I think you know how I feel. A Negro spiritual.
Come on, everybody sing with me. Let's go, let's sing.
A Negro spiritual.
Oh, Lordy, Lord. Everybody love that Negro spiritual song.
A Negro spiritual.
I really got into Negro spiritual during my ethnic studies class. And it was great. No flow state, I'm singing you up.
A Negro spiritual song.
Tonight, I'm doing a Negro spiritual. Ever since I took that urban studies class, I've been fascinated with African American culture, and I've taken up an enthusiastic passion for the genre known as the old Negro spiritual. So, I like to sing about picking cotton. I like to sing about how I get beat. The good news always is chariots swing down and pick me up with swift feet.
Negro spiritual song. Negro spiritual song. Negro spiritual song. This is a Negro spiritual song.
Lordy, 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 take me away. My fingers work to the bone picking cotton today. All I can sing is Negro spiritual, hey, Negro spiritual song.
Negro spiritual. The best kind of music. It's super progressive, you like it. I'm an urban studies major. Negro spiritual.
Urban studies major Negro. Yeah, I majored in gender studies. I really liked it. It was fun. We partied a lot. Lotta. So you guys all enjoy the Negro spiritual? I'm hoping to bring that genre back to give it some of the attention it so richly deserves. You know, it's my way of showing that I'm not racist. Because probably like the most important thing that you can really be sure about in life is don't be a racist. So I've really gone out of my way to embrace some of the art forms and the old-fashioned art forms of our pre-Reconstruction days as a way of honoring the sacrifices of those old-timey authors, creative geniuses, one and all, of the classic Negro spiritual song. Great, cherished part of our American culture. You know, I went into Rutherford, which is my child's private school, the other day, and I said, children, gather round. Not everyone enjoys the kind of privilege we enjoy. And we can forget that sometimes. What I'm here to do today is to remind you of the heart and soul of some of the people who gave so much for so many, for so long, for no reason, namely slaves. That's why I'm here to sing for you a Negro spiritual. It's a classic American art form, something as Americans we can all be proud of, no matter what color our skin is. Okay? Now, I'm going to teach you all some of the tricks. It begins with a circular clapping motion, and you're going to insert periodic laudes, woman childs, and reference cotton picking and so forth. Talk about how can't be take no more. Fingers worked down to the bone. Take me home, take me home. Flying thistle bush from the sky, take me home. Classic Negro spiritual lyrics. So anyway, I want to thank everybody here for indulging me in that short I say exercise and waking up. It's really a woke thing for me. It's like, finally, I get it. I get it. I get it. You know, I get it. It's you know, like the South, right? They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it at all. Trump, he's a racist. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it at all. I get it though now. It's like it seriously, it is like I woke up. That's why they call it woke. Think about it. What's my opinion of rivers? Well, they flow. They flow like the seasons and the tides. They flow like old man Ironsides. They flow into the two. They flow into the fro. They flow into the north. They're flowing back here. Yeah, that's what I think of rivers. Sure do, Lordy Lord. Sweet, merciful heavens. Sweet, merciful, sweet, and merciful heavens. Am I allowed to say Negro? Well, I wouldn't refer to a person as a Negro, but obviously you can't reference the Negro spiritual musical art form without calling it by its name. You know, it's like the place in downtown, French's Chinese Laundry. I can't say I'm going there without insulting either the French or the Chinese. The primary function of Nikandi is to be the home of a spirit which can travel out from space and hunt down other people. Many are publicly held and be used to affirm other specific villages. Hunt down other people. Nikandi, huh? So, what do they do? Like ghost killers or something? Or ghosts that fly around and get you? Spiritual currency. They value the esoteric in conversation. Who does? Well, ENTJs are X my party. That means nobody can cry. Purported ENFP trigger erasure. Well, the fetishes have a demon in them who will harm other people if those people are cursed. So it's like a kind of like a nuclear deterrent. Like, hey, look, I got this nuclear weapon to automatically launch if anything happens, so don't try to blow us up. Okay, I am too tired to do this right now. I gotta go. I gotta go lie down. Negro spiritual really separates the water from the mountain, so to speak. It's a good point. I'm not sure what it means, but it's a good, damn good point. Yeah. Wheezy Water, ENFP. What is his girlfriend? I don't know. Undeducible from those facts and evidence? Yeah, okay. So, little song. That'd be better than just sitting here holding the bomb pointlessly. Alright. Let's see, when am I gonna play a little song? If you're like me and everybody else, you see that you are in love with Negro spirituality. Negro spirituality. Making Negro spiritual songs. If I have to sing some kind of chorus or a verse from a book of chorus, a book that's filled with religious songs. I want the Negro spiritual hymnal filled with Negro spiritual songs. I want the Negro spiritual hymnal. I like them to sing on Negro spiritual. Okay, anyway, no jokes about Negro spirituals. Good night, everybody. I get to go in the alone time. I turn this up and I go, I didn't say anything about fried chicken. I didn't say anything about it at all. Nothing about fried chicken. She must have misheard me when I said tied ribbon. I didn't say Kentucky Fried Chicken. But even if I did, so what? What movie? I know I am going to stop not going to bed. Shut up. Now I'm not going to go to bed right now. Now you stopped me. Stop not going to bed is great advice. What is that? I say, gosh. Countess? That's not how you play FE. It's like, might as well go up to him and go, hey, look, you're dribbling a little too fast here. I'm never going to get the ball from you. You're on the other team, Countess. Oh, he's not offended. Are you offended, Hambone? No, he's fine. He is fine as wine, right as rain, smooth as silk, chaste as a virgin, just as a Timberlake Britney dance off. I just love that urban legend that what broke up Britney and Justin was that Britney was cheating or sort of cheating or something with this guy who was one of her dance instructors for work, And so when they had a big showdown about it, of course, part of the conflict was Justin was a choreographer, Britney's dance teacher, also a choreographer. And so it was decided that Britney and Justin would have a dance off as a final fight in the relationship. Needless to say, Justin kicked her ass. I mean, she got schooled for having it. Yeah. She got served. The end. Good night, friends. I'll recover my negative energy soon enough. Did this happen? What? Oh, no, it did not actually happen. It's an urban legend, although I love the idea of it. I wish I could be there on the walls. And it's like, they're kind of taking turns yelling at each other, kind of Broadway dramatic, like, but you never fail. And then the dance instructor just kind of sneaks over there and puts on like the beat for like Britney Spears' Toxic, maybe. And then they both start, your turn. And then the other goes, yeah, back to you. Dance pop music battle. Yeah. And then in the end of it, it's kind of neck and neck. And then Justin does something he swore he would never do. He uses his beatboxing skills to embarrass Britney in front of somebody else, the dance teacher. So there was no repairing the relationship after that. Thank you, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yes. Well, I believe that was the genre that Britney got her start in. Both Britney and Justin got their start in the Negro spiritual field. That's how they met. And then, Disney said, okay, we want to cut you down to something like do at least 20% non-Negro spirituals. And it turns out those actually had, surprisingly, a little bit more sway with the listening audience than the Negro spirituals did. Stamathius Bernardo. Stamathius Bernardo. I'm glad, Hambone. It's important we all realize that this cherished American art form belongs to all of us. It's a way that we can celebrate contributions of everybody in this country, no matter where they came from or what they self-identify as. Simultaneously 5 and 0 stars. I like that. I just don't want 2.5.